Alright, so I decided to do a Kingdom Hearts 3 DLC Remind analysis trailer. Originally, I actually wanted to do a reaction trailer, but seeing that the game was technically leaked, or the trailer was leaked, um, I thought it would be respectful to kind of wait until the actual official trailer came out, um, before the whole, that whoever whoever at the whoever intern kind of is about to get fired because of the leak. But as we kind of predicted, it was released today at the PlayStation State of Play, which was pretty cool. Along with some other announcements, but I kind of want to do another trailer analysis because I just like also overthinking things with Kingdom Hearts. And I know people are probably going to be like, well, this should have been part of the game. And I'm like, well, yes, we know that, but this is technically Finals Mix, or at least in terms of any sort of numerical title, it's always on the final mix. So it's going to have a lot of extra content that people, probably felt that should have been in the game. Um, in terms of the game in general, before I kind of get started, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I understand there's clearly were some issues. I know some fans feel disappointed. Some fans, still vote for it. I feel like it's kind of like 50-50 when people ask, did you like Kingdom Hearts 3? But I feel like I'm one of those people that, I definitely understand there were clearly flaws, especially in the story. Kind of felt rushed at the end, and just the pacing could have been a bit better, but it was still a fun ride. So when we did see the DLC, or at least when it got leaked, I was actually in the middle of eating my dinner. I think it was like Friday or something like that. I was in the middle of eating my dinner, and I got a notification, like, it's like, yo, the new trailer came out, and I was like, oh, okay. So I did a reaction, and then I saw that it got leaked, and I was like, okay, let me not put my reaction. So I decided to do this instead. So let's get into it.
Peggy 12.
So first and foremost, it looks like the entirety of Hollow Bastion, well, Radiant Garden's been restored because that was the original castle. It looks pretty nice. It
But
looks
if we
nice in
still
Unreal
remember
Engine.
him, then he...
So obviously, the first thing that's new is the fact that we have all kinds of characters back. I don't know how many read the Ultimania, but Namor did state that they did have a model of Leon, but I think just due to time constraints, they just never really had a chance to put him in there. There was some hints about Oron and Cloud in the base game, especially in the Hercules world, but that's other than the Moogles, that was pretty much as Final Fantasy as we got in the base game. So it's really nice that they got included in the DLC. I think Nomura always wanted them to be included, but just time constraints and just kind of other factors, mostly Disney, sort of kind of messed up his flow with things. Not to say that he makes mistakes on his own, but it's nice that the Final Fantasy characters, which started it all, came back.
He must still be with us.
But we've been searching everywhere for Sora, and we haven't found a single clue.
So just from the scene alone, I want to also address that it sounds like this takes place right directly after the ending sequence. Um, like after Don't Think Twice. So this is actually new footage. Like normally with Final Mix, they kind of add stuff in between. During the main storyline, which isn't to say that they are based off the information that got released today with the information. There is going to be main story updates, like actual main story updates. So we probably have to actually play the game, through again to see what's been added. And clearly, there's going to be after main plot information, which clearly this takes place if Sora's missing. But he's not missing like Chain of Memories missing or 3 Fight over 2 days missing, because clearly they all remember him. Chain of Memories, they kind of like, who Sora? So they clearly know he exists, but he's missing somewhere. So that looks like, if I can, that look like Ventus platform. Yeah. So with this armor, so he's clearly had in Ventus's dive to the heart, or his awakening. Now that's an interesting transition. So he goes from Ventus awakening to this sort of what is the Dark Inferno creature.
So,
So I will be absolutely bonkers if I saw like a million dark versions of me. Let me get fast forward.
this is the
So with him kind of glowing, it looks like he kind of went. This is the scene where he kind of goes. It looks like he went back in time, because clearly the scene plays out twice in the original game. And it looks like Riku on the side over there. She's clearly looks terrified, and we were kind of wondering like, how is this strong character, is freaking out over a tornado of Heartless, but it's actually really showing her pretty much her greatest fear, which is her dark side, which is pretty much filled with the sense of abandonment, pretty much. So it's kind of great that we actually got to see what was going on in her mind and why she was like, it's over, because she had like a million dark aquas going after her. So that would make anybody, stand in fear.
fear and despair that Aqua feels.
Seeing that you have also
This, I'm not quite sure where this takes place. Maybe he hung around a bit. I don't know. This I feel like is a very out of context cutscene. Yeah, we probably will figure out more information. But clearly, it takes place towards the end of the game, but it's very out of context.
taken the forbidden path.
Oh, you know what? Forbidden. So, let's see if he takes the forbidden. So this might also mean when Terranort's talking about this. This could be between his jump skip, I guess, between the first route where everybody kind of gets swallowed up, and the second route where they're like, okay, we kind of know what we're doing. So that's what it sounds like.
You too must be ready to make the ultimate sacrifice.
This, when I first saw this scene, I kind of had to rewatch it a couple times. This is Kingdom Hearts, guys. This is the scene where because Sora, Donald, and Goofy are fighting the real Master Xehanort, and the others went into the moon. That like okay, Rox is being OP there. But yeah, you can see clearly right here. There's the moon. So they must be in that realm they said they were going to jump into, at least to hold them off. So they're fighting the 13 Darknesses, which, oh, that's going to be a fun boss battle. Like, I know some people I already talked to. They're already looking forward to Justice. I mean, it's not every day you pretty much get to play all the different Guardians of Light, or at least it's not a normal boss battle, but like one of those specialty battles where you switch characters. But I mean, just look at it. And then the way the clouds are, and I wonder if this may actually be what Kingdom Hearts is. In fact, I think you actually with how this setup is, yeah, it looks like it's just gonna be a giant group attack. You might not really have a health bar. It's just kind of reflect, attack, reflect, and I guess we'll see how that goes. I like Ocean's just kind of just standing there and everybody else is availing.
If this box is truly as important as you say, why now?
Hey!
So something clearly is going on with Luxord and Zigbar. With whatever card he's passed by. So Luxord's not stupid. He clearly knows something's going on. And just I feel like that's kind of part of the secret that we don't really know. That's probably going to be pushed towards future titles because there's a lot of mystery still kind of surrounding him. Actually, both characters really. And based off what Xehanort said, not Xehanort, I'm sorry, Xemnas, in the original game, that Luxord clearly has something to do with Kingdom Hearts Union, or at least numbers 9 through 12 have something to do with Kingdom Hearts Union. So that's something we're definitely gonna have to find out about. This I was excited for.
I thought you'd be gone by now.
Because they're tying up whatever happened to Demix, because he just sort of delivered a body, and then we never saw him for the rest of the game. So yeah, this I think should have sort of been in the base game, because it would have been nice to sort of know what he was doing, because he's just sort of he's sort of doing his thing. He's just wandering around because he feels like it.
You're...
Ooh, that's the puppet body that was right there. So this must be after Sora just left.
The organization.
So of course the 13, looks like the 13 data bosses all over again, but they were still all hard in Kingdom Hearts 2, and they're probably still going to be all hard here, so it still doesn't make it easy. Oh, goodness gracious. That magic bar. I don't remember my magic bar being that long in the original game. But that's pretty ridiculous.
Everyone always told me to just...
Okay, that looks like two different scenes. Because that looks here... Yeah, this doesn't look like the sword. It's very red right there, red here. Looks like hands there. And yet, here it's red, but it's very blue. So I think here in these are two different cutscenes that are together. Not quite sure what's going on here, but yeah, definitely the way the platform is. Kind of looks like zippers, so definitely looks like two different platforms. So he's gonna be in Station Awaken a few times. It looks like in the DLC.
To just follow my heart, but follow my heart.
So we have Naminé, Mickey, and Ansem. I find it strange that for Riku he doesn't have his two best friends, which you think will be here, and even if he blocked them, you still would have seen majority of the piece here, or at least something here. But yeah, it's interesting that, you know, I guess this is where he technically had his awakening, which was in Train of Memories. So yeah, so I guess Naminé, Mickey, and I guess Xehanort Heartless would make sense.
Hearts are all connected. Trace the connection.
I finally found her. Clearly, yeah, I remember when Sora went to the final world, and then everything that happened to Kairi, and Sora's like, oh, I know where to find her. I'm like, well, yeah, she clearly went to the final world, which is pretty much Kingdom Hearts' way of saying, hey, you're kind of in a purgatory before you're dead. You know, before you finally cross over. So yeah, that would make sense that we would visit this place again.
It's so pretty.
Boy, just the way he looks, it's funny. Oh my. Okay, let me not go into a rant because I had a bone to pick with Nomura, especially with how he treats some of his female characters. Kairi is the one person I'm so glad. I am so damn glad. She finally we finally get to fight her. I mean, like, you keep hyping her up. You know, she has all this character development. You keep hyping her up, and then like, I was like, is she gonna fight? You know, what's she gonna do? And she had the itty bitty battle. You know, where she's an assistant character. You know, in the fight against, I believe it was Saix versus Xion. And I'm kind of like, and then she gets kidnapped. Like, she gets the worst end of the stick a lot of times, and so the fact that, you know, you finally get to fight with her, and you know, you get to fight with Riku, you get to fight with Sora, and I'm just like, look, let the Destiny Island trio, you know, have a chance. Like, even the Sea Salt Island trio, you get, you know, in not Dream Opposites, in 3 Friday or 2 days, technically you can fight with Axel, because you get to play as the different organization members, and obviously you fought with Roxas, and you could fight a little bit with Xion, but, you know, the one person you couldn't fight with was Kairi, so I'm very, very excited, that we finally get to fight with her, and it's interesting, because it looks like, that looks like the Grim Reaper Heartless, so I'm not quite sure if this is before or after they visit the final world. Also, it's really funny seeing Sora as a as an assist character. I've never seen that before. But yeah, I'm digging her battle face. She's she looks really like she's about to take somebody down. She's like, catch these hands. Yeah. Whoa, what was that? I don't know what attack that was, but oh, okay, that might be something that. No, actually, is this the? No, this might be This is not the Grim Reaper. That from the 13 Keyblades? No, she. That's Master Xehanort, because he has, yeah, those Keyblades. Yeah, she's, yeah, that goat head. I don't know if I can catch it, but, yeah, that's pretty good. But yeah, that goat head, kind of, yeah, you can see, like, right there. Yeah, no, that's straight up Master Xehanort. So she's, oh man, she's straight up catching it. I also kind of like, if I can go back not too far. There's this scene where it looks like Sora's just sort of running out of the way. He's just, I thought that was kind of funny when I first saw it. He's just like, let me get out the way so I can give my girl some time for her scream moment. Um, this was like sort of like a meteor type of, or maybe like a shot lock. I'm not quite sure. Well, it looks like a shot lock because it looks like it's using up focus. So yeah, that's yeah, no, yeah, and then with this here, so yeah, it looks like maybe like a special or a shot lock command. But either way, you're doing good, baby girl. Clearly, yeah, kind of had a feeling this was gonna happen. I mean, you like, why would you build Scala Akala, have all this asset, all these buildings, and only kind of really explore them during a boss fight? So clearly, yeah, this was gonna be an extra world. Um, that we can explore. I don't know how much, but it's definitely something we can explore.
Roxas, shield!
Not sure where this takes place. I don't know if this is an alternate timeline, because Shion technically wasn't on their side. I'm not quite sure how this is gonna work, but I guess we'll see. And I guess that's their heart shrine. I don't know. That's interesting.
It's ours!
Are you sure about this?
Yes.
This looks like they're in the land of departure, which makes me wonder if, well, no, because I was thinking, like, I wonder if this is where they get Master Ansem. Like, no, he would have. I don't know. It's kind of. I'm not quite sure what they're doing here. It could be something to do with Master. Not Yensid. Oh gosh, I'm already forgetting his name. But their master. It's square backwards. Ericus. Thank you. I don't know what's going on with him. I think they might be trying to retrieve Ansem from the darkness, but I believe he already probably got captured from the organization. So, who
But
knows?
don't worry.
I feel like this might be out of context, too. Like, just a random cutscene thrown in.
I'm not alone this time.
You yourself will vanish from this world.
So, this has to be right after he disappears, because this is clearly the final world, but it's night, which is interesting, because it's always been daytime. Which I was like, okay, and then I saw the rest of the trailer and I was like, okay, now the translations are coming in. If someone's familiar with Latin.
And without your powers, you can't return
Somebody, so he's yelling, he hears a call back, and he's like, hey,
to the world you came
and
from.
we see somebody come in.
I've been
I thought this was Riku. When I first saw it, I was like, oh, he's found
Having
Riku.
these weird thoughts lately.
like, is any of this for real? Or not?
That's Yozora. I thought it was Riku, but that's Yozora. AKA not Noxus, even though it's totally Noctis. I've definitely seen some really good theories about this. Some people think that, I think one of the best theories I saw, I forgot where, it might have been Tumblr or Reddit or one of those websites, but where they think Yozora technically is how Sora really is supposed to look, because Sora's appearance is influenced by Ventus, and that's the reason why Sora looks the way he does. And at first I kind of thought it was crazy, but then when I think back on it, they sort of brought up the fact that with Shion, people looked at her. She appeared as different people depending on who looked on her, based off, I guess it was like something with her heart. So it'd be interesting if Sora looks the way he does, because that's how his friends view him. But what if Yozora is how? Because even Sora's like, oh well. Or Sora thinks Yozora looks like Riku, but everybody's like, oh no, Sora, you look like Yozora, and he's like, no, I don't, and I'm like, no, he doesn't. They look completely different. But but then they brought up, the theory brought up that a lot of people from Destiny Island has silver hair, which I was like, no, they don't. And then you think of Riku, and then you kind of think of Master Xehanort, then it's kind of an out there theory, but it sort of starts to line with the pieces. Um, there is something that was really interesting that I absolutely love this callback. I mean, I know Nomura, I know people like shouldn't load on Nomura, but you have to give props that this man does not forget his details. He will call back. He will do a lot of callbacks. He's like, no, this isn't a plot hole. I'll fix it. He eventually kind of, brings things back. So there's something interesting that they play right here.
Can't return to the world you came from.
I've been having these weird thoughts lately. Like, is any of this for real or not?
The pretty much the very first line of the first Kingdom Hearts, which is crazy. Now, when I first heard that, I actually thought that was Riku, and I'm gonna give it one more listen because that sounds, does not sound like David Gallagher. That sounds a little bit different. So I don't know if they actually gave Yozora a voice, because if that's Yozora, apparently that's him. So I'm gonna try to listen to him one more time, see if that's Riku, but that definitely sounds a little bit different than Riku. Because if that is Yozora, that would make sense that why are they meeting here, pretty much at the river of death, I guess I can call it, the final world. So yeah, that's interesting.
You can't return to the
So let me
world
get
you
one more
came
listen.
from.
I've been having these weird thoughts lately.
Yeah, no, that's a close one. Yeah, it sounds a little bit deeper than Riku, so it does kind of sound like it is someone new. And it would make sense how, like, which is always probably like, who is this guy? Like, who is this random blonde, brown hair, or brown hair kid, messing up his streets? So yes, that's really interesting. Oh no. There we go.
Like, is any of this for real or not?
Okay, now with craft, it does sound a little bit more like Riku, so, we shall see. And then, of course, it's you can pre-order now, and it is officially released actually on PlayStation first, January 23rd. So Xbox doesn't get it, I believe, until February. Um, so PlayStation is pretty much gonna have an entire month to probably play the DLC before the uh, other consoles get it, which is pretty nice. But yeah, no, this oh boy, yeah, I probably went a little bit too long on the analysis, but yeah, there's always kind of like secret things that Nomura likes to hide, and just a lot of different stuff. But yeah, no, I hope you guys enjoyed. Um, I doubt I'll do another in-depth, more in-depth than that, because I kind of paused for a little bit, or paused a lot. With that, so, but I'm excited. I definitely am gonna enjoy this. It hopefully it does kind of explain some things, because I feel like they kind of jumped around a little bit. Like, there's a lot of stuff that gets explained at the ending, and then they kind of jumped around a little bit, because it's like, oh, I'm gonna rescue Kyrie, and then Kyrie's there, and I was like, wait, what happened? like like how, like you found her, okay, and then what happened to Sora? So from the sounds of it, it looks like it's gonna take place a little bit before the ending, and then a little bit after the ending, because clearly Sora's missing. So as far as I'm concerned, we're kind of getting a little bit of bonus, really, because, like I said, from previous final mixes, they kind of really only show maybe add stuff in between. Like, they never really add stuff like at the end and after, unless it's like a secret ending. Unless that cutscene was a secret ending, which I hope it's not. I hope there's more after that, and they didn't just spoil the ending of the DLC. But like, we can't find Sora, and that's why you see the Final Fantasy characters like the last 5 minutes of all of Kingdom Hearts 3. There's a lot of stuff with this DLC. There's gonna be free content. I believe Oblivion, Oathkeeper are gonna be free content. And there's going to be a lot of other stuff that's going to be, I believe the main, just the base DLC, I think that's like $29.99 US dollars, which isn't that bad now that I think about it, because like I said, it's pretty much just if you bought like the game again with Final Mixes back then, like we didn't have DLC. I mean, you had to pretty much ship the game over from Japan because you know that it didn't exist in the U.S. So it probably cost you a pretty penny even then. Yeah, no, it's reasonable because you're gonna get a lot of content. I know people kind of complain like, "Oh, this should have been in the game." Like, yeah, but you know, it is what it is. Um, if you ever want to see how the process is made, I definitely recommend reading the Ultimania because a lot of questions are answered. Nomura kind of got gypped a lot by Disney. I mean, this man was trying to get his game done, and they're like, "Yeah, we won't come back and answer your question until like a year later," because he was trying to get some worlds confirmed, and they didn't get back to him until like a year. And they're like, "Look, we're trying to get this game out." So yeah, no, it's gonna be exciting. You know, so we got a little bit more than a month to go, but it is you can pre-order it now. I'm pretty sure we're on the 22nd. You know, like around like 11 o'clock, people could probably already start downloading it and play it at midnight. So we shall see. But I hope you guys all enjoy the video, and I will see you guys probably on my next Kingdom Hearts video. See ya.